According to Forbes Advisor, proficiency in Google Sheets is a top skill that employers are actively seeking. So if you want to add skills to your existing domain and advance your career, this video is a great starting point. We will guide you through everything you need to know, from the basics like ribbons and commands to advanced formulas and functions that will boost your productivity. You will also learn how to use conditional formatting to highlight critical data, create pivot tables and charts for powerful analysis, and streamline data matching with VLOOKUP. But there is a more. We will introduce you to ChatGPT, a tool that will make your learner journey smoother and more efficient. Packed with practical tips and hands-on exercises, this video is designed to transform your data skills. Watch now to elevate your Google Sheet skills and advance your career. Hello learners, welcome to this video on Google Sheets. So we all are using Google Sheets nowadays. Either we are going to use Excel or we are going to use Google Sheet, correct? So in all the companies or in all the workplaces or in organizations, okay, all are using this Google Sheets. Why they are using this Google Sheet? Correct? So what is the importance or what are the added advantages or what are the features are there in these Google Sheets? Okay, all those things we are going to discuss here. And I'm going to help you in this video how to increase our productivity at 50% more than what we are working right now. Okay, so first we'll start with the how this Google Sheets looks like, or the how to open a Google Sheet, how to interface looks like. All those things we are going to discuss now. So this is how the Google Sheets tab work like. Okay, so if you open the Google Sheets and if you have to log in, okay, whatever your organizational profile or with your personal profile also, you can give the login credential and you can log into your Gmail and you can go to the Google Sheets, or directly also you can go to Google Sheets and you can log in here. Okay, so here these are the templates are available in Google Sheet. In Excel also, if you open the Excel software, then we can find the templates, different templates we are going to saw, correct? Here also in the Google Sheet, we have different templates. See, first one is blank sheet. If you open a new spreadsheet, the blank spreadsheet is going to open. That is completely empty. Second one, we have invoice. So if your organization is maintaining any invoice format, okay, like company name, address, phone number, official ID, all those things, correct? So the template you can make and you can save it here. So if you want to create any invoice, in a fraction of a second, you can go to Google Sheets, open the template of invoice. Then you can fill whatever the details are required and you can give an invoice to whatever the buyers or for whom we need to send this invoice. For them, we can easily share in this template. So these are the just an example of advantages in this Google Sheets. Just you go to Google Sheets and you can open the template, whatever the template you required for your organization. Okay, then you can share it with the whoever is required. Next, weekly timesheet. So as a person, individually also we are going to maintain this work timesheet or weekly timesheets, correct? So what is the work duration? From 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. we are going to work in the organization. Remaining time we are going to home, correct? So on that time also they are going to schedule. This many hours we need to spend for this many hours we need to spend for entertainment, all those things, correct? That weekly timesheet you can maintain here. And expenses report. This is very, very important for a individual life as well as in the organization also. So whatever the expenses we are going to make in this particular week or in this particular month. So for example, I'm going to maintain all the expenses from day 1 to day 30th of the or end of that month. Okay, so I'm going to record all the expenses, whatever I'm going to spend. If it is a 1 rupee also, I'm going to record it here. So based on that expenses, we can forecast what is required amount for the next month. So in this particular month, we have 4 weeks. In that 4 weeks, each week, how much we have spent. And we can forecast for the next week, how much expenses are there. Why we are going to do this? We have budgeting in that 50-30-20 rule, correct? So 50%, 30%, 20%. For that, we need to allocate the fund. Based on that, So we are going to create this expenses report also. So next we have Gantt chart, annual financial data. So this is very, very important for your organization, correct? So if you are working in the accounting department or in the finance, what you are going to do? All the finance inflows and outflows. Just example, cash account. So what comes to the business, what goes out of the business, all those things you need to maintain, correct? So for that, this financial reports or financial data template will help. Or if you want to create any ledger accounts, or if you want to pass a journal entry, or you need to prepare trial balance, correct? So for all those things, we can use this, or we can predetermined or preset templates. Okay, we can save here and we can open that and we can just give the whatever the data or whatever the inputs or whatever the numbers are required, updated numbers we can give, and we will get the, in a fraction of seconds, all the information. So this is the Google Sheets interface looks like. So we can go to blank spreadsheet. So if you double click on that, or you can right click and you can click on open. So this is the worksheet or the Google Sheet interface looks like. So before we start, okay, here it is a untitled spreadsheet. We need to name this sheet first, because if automatically power gone or due to internet fluctuation, internet was gone, on that time it will close, correct? So on that time, better you need to give a name to that spreadsheet and you have to first save the name of that spreadsheet. After that, whatever the information you are going to type or whatever the data you are going to put in the particular cells or in the columns, that will be saved. Okay. So this I'm going to give a name as Google Sheets. Okay. So that is saved. Automatically it will save on the drive. Okay. So this we call it as ribbon. This is the command called file. So in this file, if you go to first one, that is new. If you want to open a new spreadsheet, if you just click on this spreadsheet, the new spreadsheet will open. Or you already saved the templates. We already discussed, right? So expenses one or weekly expenses, or it may be whatever the financial report data or whatever the weekly timings or whatever the templates we are going to save, that we can easily go and we can open that also. Second one, open import. So if you want to import any data from the other sheets, if for example, this is the Google Sheets, name of the spreadsheet, correct? So if you want to get the data from the other sheet, then we can use this import, make a copy, same sheet will be copied in the same name. If you want to change that, copy of whatever the XYZ, that you can make. Share. This is the added advantages for the workspace or for the whoever works in the organization using this Google Sheets. Okay, we can share this with the whoever we required. If for example, I need to share with the other colleagues in our team members, on that time we can use this option and we can share. Okay, in that also we have three categories. If you click on share, we can share it with three options. That is, first one, view access only. So they can just view whatever is there in that data or whatever data are there in that particular sheet, that they can see. Second one is comment option or comment access, we call it as, correct? So in the comment access, whatever they need to comment. If for example, I have given the 3 days of work or whatever the work I have done in that last 3 days. So if they have any doubts or if they have any clarification or suggestion, they can go to that particular cell, click on that and then insert, and they can click or they can write whatever the comment they want. Okay, that will comes to me. That is, whoever is the owner for that particular sheet or from whom they are going to tag, that comment will go to them. Okay. Next we have edit access. Edit access is nothing but, so whatever the data are there, you can whatever you can edit or you can delete or you can replace with the new data. All those things will be available in this share option. So if you can see here, you can go here also, or else you can see share. Just click on that share option. Okay. So here add people or groups. and calendar events. So you can add it the whoever you want to share the sheet, and then you can give, see here, restricted. If you want to give anybody access, view access, whatever the comment access, or it may be edit access, that you can give, and you can just click on done. So that will be access is given for that particular person. Okay. Next, after share email. So if you want to share this document or in this sheet to your mail ID, just click on email this file. Next, if you want to download the sheets in the XLX format, that is your Excel or doc or PDF, HTML, CSV, or it may be TSV. All these formats you can download and you can access the whatever the data is given. Next, approvals. If you want any approval for this sheet, then you can go for this approval. Labels, rename, move, add shortcut to drive, move to trash. So you can remove the sheet and you can put it in the trash also. All these are available in this particular command, that is file. Next we have edit. So undo, that is Control Z, redo, Control Y, cut, copy, paste, paste special, delete, all these things, okay, are there in the edit command. And next we have view, that is show, freeze, group, comments, all these things are there. So all this I'm going to explain in this particular video, how to freeze that particular row or particular column or particular cell, all those information I'm going to give, okay. Next we have insert, format, data, tools, extension, help. All these things are the commands in this ribbon. And we have the command groups also. So you can see here, it is the undo or redo, print, all these things, paint. These are the informations are there in this command groups. So this is how the Google Sheet spreadsheet or the new spreadsheet looks like. Now that we have covered the basics of Google Sheets, I would love to hear which part you found most helpful. Share your thoughts in the comments. Next, we will dive into formulas and functions in Google Sheets, which are essential tools for efficient data handling. Plus, you will discover how ChatGPT can help you master these skills faster than ever before. So let's get started. So now we are going to discuss about the functions or using the whatever the formulas, okay, what are the functions we can made in this Google Sheets, that too using ChatGPT. So we can take a help of ChatGPT, like how to format the formula or how to create a formula for this row to this row, or how to sum, or how to whatever the formulas are required, that we are going to use ChatGPT for Google Sheets, okay. So first command I'm going to give to this ChatGPT is, what are the functions we can made in the Google Sheets, okay. So here is the answer. So using this Google Sheets, okay, so we can do this mathematical function. Like mathematical function is sum, that is the from which range or from the which cell to which cell we need to take the total. So for that also we have the function. And then average, if for example 10 numbers are given, or in the classroom 10 students information we have taken, whatever the score they have scored in the 5 subjects. So for that 5 subjects, what is the average? Or in the particularly in the mathematics, 18 students are attended the test, and in that 18 students, the total number, that is the sum, and what is the average number, that also we can easily calculate. Minimum, which is the minimum score or minimum mark scored by the students, that we can find. And the maximum, if for example we are given test for 50 marks, so what is the maximum students are scored, that also we can find. And round. Next, the text function, concatenate or left, right, upper text, lower text, split text, all these things, okay. Not only theory part, we are going to see how this Google Sheets is going to use for these functions. Next, logical function, if, and, or, not. These are the logical function. Lookup function, we are going to see how the VLOOKUP works, okay, that also we can see. And date and time function, so it may be hour, minute, second, okay, all these things. And not only time, date also. So DDMMY or date, DDMMY, all those things, hour, minute, second, that also we are going to discuss. And financial function, that is PMT, principal, months, and the time. Okay, that is the present value, future value, net present value, all those things, functions we can use in the Google Sheets. Array functions, array formula or filter, unique, statistical functions like count, counta or countif, average if or median, all these things we can easily calculate or easily we can take from this Google Sheets. Okay, so let's begin the first in the Google Sheets. So first we'll look at the date and time function. We just now discussed this, right? So in the ChatGPT also, we can easily find out the days and time functions. So first one, here I have taken the, what are the things we are going to see in this particular date and time function. So we can discuss today function, now, year, month, day, hour, minute, second, weekday, week numbers, ISO week number, work day, hour, minute, and second. So these are the functions we are going to discuss now. So for that, calculating all these things or to show how this work. So for that, I have taken this information. Okay. So customer name, that is ABC Enterprises, invoice number 1565, invoice date Monday, December 4th, 2023. Credit repayment period or credit period the company allowed is 5 days and the invoice amount is 1,50,000. So you can format this also. So if you want to change the font, okay, you can go here, Caliber or Arial or whatever you require, okay, whichever is comfortable you can select, and you can increase the font size or you can decrease, and you can give the table, okay, and you can center align and the middle alignment, all these things you can do. Okay, so next you can select this, so auto fit, so whatever is there like this we can auto fit also. So first we'll start with the payment due date function. So this is just an example, correct? So if you want to change this date and time format, just go to this ribbon command, that is format, go to the numbers, go to the time, or if you want the date, correct, so you can go format and number and the date, you will get the date and time. If you want just a date, you can go here and click on number, date. So December, that is 4th, 2023. So from this 5 days, just we can tell after 4th, what is the next 5 days? If you count, then what is the credit payment due date? For one single information, we can easily find out, correct? If you have multiple data or in hundreds or in thousands, the numbers were there. On that time, if you want to calculate this, then you will get a very time consuming, correct? So on that time, what you need to do? You need to apply the formula. For calculating this payment due date is equal to, open a bracket, workday. So in this workday also, we have the option like how many days are leave or how many days of holidays are there in that particular week. It may be Sunday and Saturday excepted. That we can select and then we can go with this. We need to select this invoice date, comma, and the credit payment period, that is 5 days, correct? So that you need to select, close the bracket, enter. So 4th December 2023, you have purchased goods of worth rupees 1,50,000 and the credit repayment period that company allows is 5 days, and so the payment due date for this particular invoice is 11th December 2023. So this also you can change it whatever the format you want. Here it is MMDDYYY, correct? So that you can change it to the MM into like DDMMYY, like 11th December 23. Like that also you can change. Just if you want to change, select this, go to format. In that you can select whatever is feasible for you people. Okay. So next, the days overdue. So if, for example, whatever the current date, okay, till that they have not repaid. So we need to calculate how many days they have overdue. So that is also possible in this Google Sheets. Okay. So calculating this days overdue, that is formula is equal to today. So you need to select this, double click on this today, close the bracket, minus, we need to select this invoice date, because from today, whenever we have given the invoice, that we need to select, click enter. So 249 days are overdue for this particular invoice. So we have given this goods or invoice on the 4th December 2023. So till today 249 days is overdue. Okay, so this is how we are calculating this day overdue function. Next we can calculate weekday function. Control C, just Control V here. So which weekday it will come, or which day in that particular week this 4th December will come, is equal to weekday, open a bracket, select which invoice date it is, select that, close the bracket and click enter. So this is comes second day. Okay, that is 4th December 2023 is second day of the week. So we'll check or cross verify, go to format, number, and this year we can select, or custom, we can date and time, we can select, so whichever is required. Okay, I will select this because we have the day, month, day and the year. So just apply here. So it is Monday, December 4th, 2023. So second day means Sunday is the first day of the week, second day is Monday. So this is how we need to calculate this weekday function. So next we can calculate week number. So for calculating this week number, we can change this format. Okay, whatever DDMMY or MMDDYY, that format is required. So we can go format, number, just click on this date. So it will change. Okay, so for week number, so in that particular year, okay, in which week number it will come. So for example, in the 12 months, how many weeks are there? Okay, in that weeks, in which week this will comes, or this invoice will come. So for that is equal to week number or week num, open bracket, just select this invoice date cell, that is FI, close the bracket and click enter. So this 4th December 2023, in that particular year, it is 49th week. Okay, so this is how we need to calculate the week number. Next, ISO week number. So ISO week number is the like calendar. In the advanced features we have this. So if for example 1st January 2023, it's going to start from Thursday. Okay, then we are going to have the feature called, we need to select the first day Thursday and the close weekend, that is the week start with the Thursday and ends with the next week, that is Wednesday. So like that also we can select. So in that case, what is the ISO week number? So for that, formula is equal to ISO week number, open bracket, select this invoice date, close the bracket, hit enter. So it is 49th only. So if for example, some in year what happens, it will start from the Monday, that is 1st January. Sometime it will start from the Saturday 1st January. Like that, on that time we have this option called, we can change the ISO week number also. Next, we can see this day and time function. So for that, function is equal to now, close the bracket, enter. So if you double click on this, it will show, yeah. Today is 9th August 2024. The timings is 15:16, 2 seconds. Like this is how we need to calculate the, what is the current date and the time. I will repeat this for the formula purpose. So for calculating this current date and time, so we need to put equal symbol, now NOW, open bracket and close the bracket, hit enter, you will get this information. So after this, we will calculate hour function. So if you want to calculate the hour, if for example, just now only I have given this information, correct? So after 2 days or after 3 days, also we can calculate how many hours are there, creating this invoice to that particular time. So for that, is equal to hour, open bracket, select this particular info, close the bracket, hit enter. So 15th hour, because it is already there in the 15th. So 15th. Next, we can calculate minute also, is equal to minute function, open the bracket, select this info, close the bracket, click enter. Next, second function, how many seconds also we can calculate here. Second function formula is equal to second, open bracket, particular cell, that is now function, close the bracket, click enter. So 15 hours, 18 minutes and 6 seconds, that is the function we can calculate this hour, minute, second functions. Next, we will discuss about this tables and borders. Okay, so what are the uses of these tables and borders, or how to use these tables and borders for this raw data? So here I have taken the serial numbers, whatever the faculty name, student name and gender of the student, whatever the date they have taken the test, and what is the marks in 2 subjects. So for this I will give the header. So just click on the right click, insert one row above. So go here, click on this one, right click, insert one row above. So here we can give serial number, you can give faculty name, student name, and you can give gender, date of test, marks in Kannada, marks in maths. Okay, so these are the columns I have given. Okay, so now again same thing, if you want to do the auto fit for that particular cell, select that, go here in this, double click on this, so it will take, correct? Next, now also it looks like raw data only, correct? So how to create the tables and borders? It is a simple click. Okay, so just select anywhere here and select, click on Control T. So you can go select it here. Next, go to Insert, Tables. So you can go and see here. So all the start with pre-bullet tables or feature, whatever the features are there, like events, like this you can do, or you can project task or content tracker, or it may be production prioritization or recruitment application. All these things, features are available. You can, whatever you required or whichever the format you required, you can just select that. Okay, so as per the template, it will come. Next, after the featured, next we have event planning. So event tables, or it may be event schedule, or the event guest list, or the event vendor list. All these things are already available. Or event budget, especially if you want to create any budgets for that particular event in the organization, or customer relations, like customer contacts or customer priority or opportunity, project management, project task or project resources, office hours, all these things like travel planner, product roadmap, inventory management. This is very, very time saving also, this whatever the tables. Okay, if you just click on this inventory tracker, it will give the whatever the templates for the Google Sheet. All these things will be there in this tables. So whichever, for example, just for this, I will take event task. Okay. So if you click on that, it will appear here. So you can, in the new sheet, it is saved. So if you want the information, you can go and you can click and you can give the inputs here. If you don't want, just do Control Z. Okay. So whatever the information is there, that will be Control Z. Okay. Next, go select the data information, whatever the data are there. If you want in the middle, you can get it middle, or if it is right, left, or it will be middle align. Whatever is required, you can select that, and you can go here. You can see borders. Just click on the borders. It will come. Next, okay. After that, if you want to color these headers, you can go here, select the whatever the decent color you want, or you can whichever the color you like, okay, so that you can take. Okay. Next, if I scroll down, we can't see these headers, correct? So on that time, in the early also, while starting the video, I have told you the freeze option is there, correct? So this one header will be freezed, and other data we are going to move, that will move. Okay, that option is also there. So just select here in the row, click the whichever the row you need to freeze, or if it is column, then you need to select this column. Then you can go for freeze option. Here we require only headers, right? So it is a row. Select that particular row, go to U, freeze. In that freeze also we have different options, that is no rows, one row, two row, up to row 1, and columns, no column, one column, two columns, and up to column Z. So I will select one row. Okay. So now if you move, see that whatever the row we have freeze, that will be freeze, and you can just scroll up and down. So this, the row number 1 will be frozen. Okay. So it won't move. Like this we can do. If you don't want, just go select that row number, go to U, like here only, unfreeze also. Okay. So this is how the freeze function also works. And we'll ask ChatGPT what are the uses of these tables and borders, and then I will explain you how we need to calculate sum, or it may be minimum, maximum, average, all these things. Okay. So let's move to Google, that is ChatGPT. So what are the uses we can take from the tables and borders in this Google Sheets? Okay. Just click enter, it will give. So uses of tables in Google Sheets, that is data organization. We already saw that is in the right side corner. Okay. The table, that window will open, right? So in that we have featured whatever the formats we require, or whatever the templates we require, that is already available. That is for the data organization. Next, the data analysis, like sum, average, VLOOKUP, filter, all these things we are going to discuss, okay, in answer part also in the coming videos. Okay. So how to calculate that whatever the marks in Kannada or marks in the mathematics, okay, that we can calculate. Sum, average, or the VLOOKUP function, filter, all these things we are going to discuss. Next, pivot tables, okay, how to create pivots, and data entry validation, conditional formatting, this is very, very important, automating the reports or the collaborations. Okay. So these are the few uses of tables. And if it is comes to border, in general, improving the readability or highlighting the key information, structuring the data, creating tables and grids, enhancing visual appeal, customizing spreadsheet, aligning data, all these things are the uses of these tables and borders. We'll phrase this cell because we can calculate whatever the sum and other information. So here the sum function, okay, or else I will first show you how this sum, that is total, So here you can go here fx, that is equal to sum. The automatically the Google Sheet only gives the row numbers also, because we are going to start from the F2 to F28 or F30, correct? So that will automatically give. Just click. So the total of this, all these marks, 1358. If you want, just copy, Control C and Control V, paste it on the next cell. So the total marks in mathematics, that is 1330. Next, if you want to take an average of all this information, then average is equal to average function F2 to F30. So average marks scored by the students is 46.82 marks. So if you want to calculate for the mathematics, the average marks is 45.86 marks. That is the average. So next we can calculate the minimum function. Okay. So what is the minimum marks the students scored is equal to min. So F2 to F30, that will be same, or else you need to drag and drop, or we need to select which cell to which cell. So the minimum marks in Kannada students have scored is 25. If you calculate for the mathematics, the minimum marks is 25 only. So in the Kannada, what is the maximum marks scored by the students? That is, first one is equal to max is equal to maximum, the open the bracket, F2 to F30. So maximum marks was 65. So here, this is the row number 24, that is the serial number 23 have scored the 65, that is the maximum. If we select for, that is Control C and Control V for the maths. So here also 65 is the maximum marks. Who has scored the 65 marks here? Row number 17 and the serial number 16 has scored the highest in the mathematics. So this is how the total, that is sum function, average, minimum and maximum functions will work. And we can create the charts also, graphs also, pie diagram, whatever we require, that we can do it for this particular information for the table and borders. So here also we can filter. See, you can select this particular column, go here, we have a create a filter. Just click on that. This window, that is drop down, will appear. Click on that. So whichever you want to do, like clear. If you want only whoever scored 25, just click OK. So these are the two students have scored 25. Like this, we have the filters option also. And if you don't want the filter, just go here, click on this. So filter will be cancelled. And sort also, low to high, high to high. In the sort function also we can do it here, that is low marks to high marks, high marks to low marks. That is also there in this function. Okay. So this is how the tables and borders looks like. So here we can discuss about the graphs and charts. So we already discussed about this tables and borders, correct? So after these tables and borders, how to create a graph or how to create a pie diagram or charts. Okay. Just I will show you. We can select this faculty name, or instead of faculty name, we can select the student name. Okay. Just we will do the changes here, or we can ask ChatGPT to give this particular informations. Will not require the date. Okay. We require serial number, faculty name, student name, gender, and marks in Kannada, marks in maths. So if you ask ChatGPT to give the the dummy data, or it may be fake data, okay, that we can take for the purpose of creating these charts and graphs. Okay, we can delete the date. So using these headings, provide 10 data information. So serial name, faculty name, student name, gender, marks in Kannada, and maths. Okay. So I have asked for the 10 students information or 10 students data. Okay. So it is given a data like same serial number, faculty name, student name, gender, marks in Kannada, and marks in math. Okay. So different students and the marks is also given. Just here we can copy paste it here. Okay. If you want, you can click the tables and you can select, double click. Okay. So for this information, whatever the student's name and marks in Kannada and mathematics, for this we can create a chart. Okay. So go insert, chart. Okay. You can see here. If you want, I will reduce the size of this. Now you can see, right? So marks in Kannada and marks in maths. So whatever highlighted in blue color, that is Kannada marks, and red it is maths marks. And the students' names are given in this X column, that is Rahul or whatever, Priya, Ankit, Sneha, all this information. Okay, and the marks is also given in this. If you want to change the style, you can go here. If you want to select the colors, see if I want this yellow color, the background, that you can select, or if you don't want, just click on this, or whatever the theme default, like whatever the font you required or the borders you required, everything you can change. Okay, the layout, maximize the layout or 3D, compare mode, charts and axis. Okay, so here also whatever you require you can change. Series also you can change, and the line, whatever line is there, that you can select. This is required, or whichever use required you can select, then you can go and apply. Okay, error bars or data labels or the trend line, legend, all this information. Okay, you can go and you can select and you can give apply. So this is the chart editor, and the student name and the marks in Kannada like this. And if you want, you can just click it here, edit chart, delete chart, or download in the PNG format or in the PDF, whatever the form you require. And chart, copy chart, move to own sheet or alt text. Whatever the information you want to change, you can change it here. Or if you want, just I will show you marks in Kannada. We can select, we can go to insert, chart, we can select this pie diagram. See the each students, their marks given in the different colors. If you don't want, you can delete this chart, and then if you compare with maths and the Kannada marks, go to insert, click, go to insert, click on chart. Here we have candles or bars, pie diagram, and the whatever the line chart, everything is there. Okay, whichever you want you can select. Now I will select this line chart. Okay, so here you can see marks in Kannada. If you want one more column to add, then you can go and you can select the marks in maths also in the different colors. So this is how the graphs and charts will work. So this is the easiest way to create a chart or graphs. Okay, and it is very easy to download also. So if you want in a PNG format or in the JPEG, whatever the format you want, and you can download and you can use this in your PowerPoint presentations also. So this is the use of the Google Sheets for this graphs and chart. Now that you have seen how formulas and functions in Google Sheets, with the help of ChatGPT, boost your productivity by automating tasks and speeding up calculations, keep watching our video for more insights. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for even more tips to enhance your skills. Next up, we will learn conditional formatting, where you will discover how to highlight important data easily. In the conditional formatting, okay, so whatever the ChatGPT, okay, if you ask what is the conditional formats in Google Sheets, or however, or what are the purpose we can use conditional formatting in this Google Sheets, just I have typed this. So the basic conditional formatting options. So this we can discuss. The single color formatting, that is if you have any minimum number, for example 35 in a particular student in 5 subjects or in 6 subjects, if he score less than 35, highlight in a whichever the color we are going to select. That is the single color formatting. Okay, like apply a single color to cells that meet a certain condition. So the condition is less than 35, because if for students is going to write an exam for 100 marks, means 35 is the passing marks, correct? So if it is less than 35, he is fail, correct? So we need to give a conditional format and we need to select single color. Okay, next, color scales. If you open the conditional format in Google Sheets, that is just open the spreadsheet, go to format. In that format we can see the conditional format. If you click on that, then you can see this color scales also. Use color scales to apply a gradient colors, a range of cells based on their values. This is useful for visualization high and low values within a data sets. Okay, so whatever the colors If for example, less than 35 marks, for that we are going to make it as red color. Okay. If it is a maximum more than 75 or maximum 80 marks, if for example more than 80 marks or greater than 80 marks, then it would be yellow color. So like that we need to highlight, then it is very visual to see and we can easily find out this student has failed or not, or this student has got the first class with distinction or not. For that we can use this color scales. Next, the advanced conditional formatting. Okay, the custom formula based formatting. Create custom formulas to apply conditional formatting based on more complex conditions. If for example 10 students are there, all the 10 students information we are going to select the range and then we are going to add a formula less or greater than equals to 75 marks in all the subjects, in all 10 students. So that is the custom formula based functions or formatting. Okay. Example, highlight cells in column B if the corresponding cell in column C is greater than 80. Like for the comparing with one column to other column, that is also possible. Next, top or bottom rules. So highlight the top or bottom values within a range. So we already discussed, right? Minimum and maximum marks. Or if it is less than 35, that is less than 35, greater than 80, like that, which is the least marks for that particular student and which is the highest marks scored by that particular student, that we can do this top or bottom rules. Next, text-based formatting, data-based formatting. In this, apply formatting based on the date conditions, such as highlighting cells with dates and past, that is next month or before a certain date. Like in the previous videos we have discussed, right? So what is the date function? Like day and the DDMMY formatting and with the time, like that, whichever the format we can do, we can format and we can do this date-based formatting. Formatting blank or non-blank cells, unique or duplicate value. This is very, very important. If the same student name repeated twice, okay, or the same details of the two students are repeated twice or thrice, on that time how to conditional format that particular value. So automatically highlight unique or duplicate values in a range, helping to identify anomalies or repetitions. Next, visual formatting options, data bar, icon sets. Applying conditional formatting, selecting the range. This is the process. First select the range. Assessing conditional formatting, go to format, conditional formatting, choosing the formula rule. Next, setting the formatting style, applying and managing rules. So this is the steps we are going to use for the conditional formatting. So all these things we'll look at in the hands-on part also. So next we will discuss about the conditional formatting. Okay. So this conditional format is very, very important in the Google Sheets. Why? Because if you want to do whatever the formatting, like lesser than whatever the value, equal than whatever the value, or greater than, or from range to this range, or between this number to this number, or minimum, maximum, and VLOOKUP function. All those things we can do in this conditional formatting. Okay. So first, these are the information. Okay. This is the student name, like subjects. Okay. And whatever the marks the students have scored. These are the information I have given here. So in the last videos also we have discussed about the sum or average or the minimum function, maximum function that we have discussed, right? So here also we can do, if you want, like individual student wise, we can do the total. Okay. So total of all the subjects, like first student, we need to take a total. So is equal to sum, open bracket, automatically Google Sheets only taken, because we need to calculate for this student from the first subject to the last subject. So close the bracket, click enter. So automatically it will suggest autofill option. Okay. If you click on that, the total marks of each student is calculated here. Okay. Next, we can calculate the average also, or in this particular student, which is the minimum marks he has scored and which is the maximum score he has scored. Okay, all those things we can calculate. That is minimum function, that is minimum marks and maximum marks. Okay, so control B, because we can maintain a format, and for minimum marks the formula is equal to minimum or min, open the bracket, from Kannada, that is B2 to F2. So 78 is the minimum marks scored by this student, that is Arav. So if you want to take for this all the students, like we need to select and we need to drag. Okay, so just we need to select here and we need to drag it for all the students. So all the minimum marks are there, correct? Next, maximum. So maximum function, that is maximum marks scored by this, the formula is equal to max. See, it is taking 433 also. This is the total for all the subjects. So we required only these subjects, correct? So not G2, here it is F2. We need to take from B2 to F2. So click enter. 92 is the maximum marks scored by this particular student, and if we drag, then all the students whoever has scored the maximum in their respective subjects. Okay, so this is how the total marks, that is sum, minimum and maximum marks we can calculate. And individual wise we can create the graphs, pie diagram, charts, line, bar, all those things. Okay, we'll see the conditional formatting. Okay, so just go to format, conditional formatting. Okay, so this right side, this tab will open. So if for example go to, we required less than, whoever score less than, for example 35 marks in this particular less than symbol and color it in red. Done. So if any students has scored less than 30, then it will appear the red color. Or just we'll do one more thing, add another rules. Okay, apply all the range, minimum value. Okay, midpoint not required right now, maximum value. Okay, for minimum value we are going to select red and the maximum we are going to select blue color. Okay, so done. So in the conditional formatting we have applied, for the minimum it is red and the maximum it is blue color. Like this also we can do conditional formatting, or if you want any other rules, if for example, if you can see here, if it is any empty cells are there, for that we can highlight, because this is very less data. If you have the thousands of data, then we can find out the empty cells. That is also very difficult, right? So if you can apply this easy empty, then whatever the empty cells are there, that will be, we can select the color and we can highlight that. That is one option. Is not empty, whichever column is filled, for that particular cells we can do whatever the color we can code. Or text contains, like that student names or the header, it is text contains, right? So for that we can do one color. Text does not contain, that is only alphabets are there. Text starts with whatever the hashtag or at, all those things we can. Text ends with text exactly, date is before, after, all these things, like greater than equal to, or less than equal to, is not equal to, between, not between. For all those things we can select and we can apply the formula in this conditional formatting. Okay, if you don't want this formula, for example, okay, again we can go to format, conditional formatting, this will open. If you don't want, just remove rule. So like whatever is there earlier, same data is visible for us, correct? This is the conditional formatting. So for this, if we apply the graph, we already discussed, right? Like this, insert, go to chat, in this, okay, next, whatever the charts, okay, which is feasible for us, like it is a map or other kind, or the clocks, or the dollar wise, line graph, calendar wise, whatever you require or whichever is feasible for you people, we can select that. This is a just line chart I have taken. And if you want to edit, see, you can edit this, whatever the graph for the A section students, or marks line graph for the A section students, okay, or the marks, whatever the student's name, that is, here we are given label of student name, here it is subjects, the alphabetic from the left to right. All these things we have color coded also, correct? So this is how we need to create the line graph. Or if you don't want that, if you want to select any other things, series if you want, or whatever the data labels, see here, the marks also it can show, okay, for each student, and the color coded, correct? If you don't want, just click it out. Horizontal axis, whatever is horizontal axis is there, and vertical axis, for individual things we can show it here. And if you want the grid scales also, grid line, okay, count, or it may be step, whatever you want you can change, and you can just click here, okay. So this will be visible for whatever the use of your visibility, okay. For the visibility purpose, we are going to prepare this graphs and charts, okay. And here we can go and we can, if you want, you can edit chart, or you can delete chart, or download whatever the format you want, okay. This is how the conditional formatting works. Having learned about conditional formatting, a feature that automatically highlights trends, patterns, and outliers in your datasets, let us know if you have tried it. If so, what did you find most interesting? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Up next, we will level up with pivot tables and charts, powerful tools to help you organize and visualize your data like a pro. Plus, we will show you how ChatGPT can make it even easier. Let's get started. So, next we will discuss about this VLOOKUP and pivot tables also, okay. So, in the VLOOKUPs, for the VLOOKUP purpose, I have taken the first name of few students, last name of the students, and score, how much they have scored, and what are the sections, or which section they are belonging to. That information I have taken. So, if you want, we can show these functions also. So, count function. So, how many students are there? How many students list we have taken? For that, count function. So, count function is equal to count from this cell to this cell. We can select this, close bracket, enter. So, autofill is not required right now, because see, if you want, count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 students. So, we have taken 10 students information. Sum is equal to, that is the total, same, 829, average is equal to, so total average, that is maximum, we can calculate, that is max is equal to, open bracket, from this to this range, maximum marks is 90, and the minimum is, open bracket, we need to select from this to this range, close the bracket, enter. So, 75. So, in this total 10 students, that is the count, sum of 829, and the average is 419.5, and the maximum is 90 score, and the minimum is 75. So, these are the functions. Using the formula, we can easily calculate this. And next, the full name or concatenate, okay. So, if for example, this first name is there, last name is there. If you want to calculate both together, then what is the formula, okay. So, for that, I will explain you now. Full name, if you want to calculate, formula is equal to concatenate is equal to, open the bracket, first name, and then we required second name, correct? So first name comma second name, close the bracket. See, Arav Kumar. Next, if you drag and drop, you will get the complete student name. But we have to keep the space between this Arav and Kumar, correct? So it is like, looks like one single word. So we need to do the changes in the formula. After A2, comma, give double hyphen, space, close hyphen, comma, enter. Arav space, a single space is there, Kumar. Now you can drag and drop for the entire students. So this is how the concatenate function works like. And if you want to create a drop down list, that is also there. If you want, just select here, insert, go to drop down. Here you can go to advanced options. You can select the range also. The range is, I'm going to select student's name. Okay. Next, in the drop down, we can select the drop down here. Sorry. Okay. So in this option, if you want, you can create selected cells. See, all the students' names are selected. If you go here, you can click the options here. So if, for example, for option, which section you belongs to, that we can select, or the student marks. Okay, all those things we can select in this drop down list. Show the warning or reject the input, clip, arrow, plain text, whatever you want, you can select here, and you can validate the criterias also. Okay, like as conditional formatting. This is how we need to create this drop down list also. If you don't want, just remove here. Okay, so this is how this drop down list works like. After exploring how to create pivot tables and charts with ChatGPT, you are on your way to enhancing your data skills. To further advance your skills or kickstart a career with ChatGPT, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos and updates on ChatGPT. Now it's time to explore VLOOKUP, a powerful function that will help you find and match data in your spreadsheets with ease. So stick around till the end. We'll create the lookup function here only, VLOOKUP. Okay, we can calculate the maximum marks. For maximum, the formula is equal to VLOOKUP. Select the range, close bracket, comma, open the bracket, max, again open the bracket, select the range C2 to C11, close the bracket, comma, range also index, then comma 1 array comma 0, close the bracket, enter. Okay, so we can see here the formula is equal to VLOOKUP. We require max function. So max, that is range from C2 to C11, close the bracket, again index C2 to C11 we need to select, then comma, array is 1 and the tab. Then we will get the max 90. So if you want, you can drag and drop for all these 10 students. Okay, or else just for VLOOKUP function max. Next, we can calculate minimum. So minimum is equal to the VLOOKUP, open bracket, minimum. So for minimum function, VLOOKUP, open the bracket, that is we require minimum. So minimum formula, open the bracket, that is range C2 to C11, comma, the index also C2 to C11, comma, array is 1, comma tab. So the minimum is 75 and the maximum is 90. So this is how we need to apply the VLOOKUP, that is vertical lookup functions. Okay. Next we'll see the pivot tables. For the same information, can we prepare a pivot table? So first we'll discuss like in the ChatGPT how it will be helpful for creating a pivot tables or in the pivot charts. Okay. So let's move to ChatGPT. So first I will ask how to prepare the pivot tables in Google spreadsheets. So first, if you want to create a pivot table, first prepare your data, no blank rows and columns. Okay, whatever the dates or details are there, just we need to fill. Headers we require consistent data, select the data range, insert a pivot table, go to menu, click data, then we can get the pivot table. Next, configure your pivot table. So add rows, whatever the fields, sort order, columns, add column, values, that is minimum, maximum, average, sum, count, all these functions only. Okay. Next, customize the pivot table, refreshing the pivot tables, additional features and example or use cases are the tips and best practices. Okay. So we'll see how to create a pivot table. So if for example, for the same information, if I want to create a pivot table, so just go to data, click on data, we can see. Okay. So in sheets, we need to go to inserts. Here we can go to pivot table. So it will ask, we can create a new sheet or the existing sheet. So I'm going to create in the new sheet, for example, new sheet. So it will open. So rows and the column values. So here we can select the range, whatever the first name or last name, score, section. These are the few headers are there in that particular tab, correct? So average score for each section, if you want, you can get it here. See the section ABC, average rate is 82.5 or 79, 87.66. Like this we can get. Or else if you don't want the average function, you want the count of first name for each section. So ABC, that is 433. So out of 10 students, 4 are from the A section, 3 are from B and 3 from C section. So this is how we need to create pivot. Some score for each section. So A section, totally they have scored 329 and B 237 and C is 263. That is how we need to calculate. Or we have, if you want, you can add the roles also, like first name in the rows. See, if you want any other information, columns, if you want to add columns, score if you want, you can add like this. Any information or values, filter, everything we can add. And if you don't want, you can clear the section also, or whatever the sheets you have selected, that also you can deselect or you can clear it out. So automatically it will create a new tab. If you want in a separate spreadsheet also, we can create. And for this information, you can create the charts also. So as usual, insert in this only, pivots only, image over cells or so. After creating the pivot tables, okay. So if you want, already discussed, right? So if you want, you can go here, pivot table. If you want in a new sheet, existing sheet, or whatever you want, you can select and we can create the pivot tables. So this is how we need to create a pivot tables and the conditional formatting and the VLOOKUP functions in the Google Sheets. In the basics of Google Sheet, we already discussed the ribbons, commands, command groups, and whatever the cell or columns, how we can share, or what is the formula, all those things, correct? Like this, we can create the all sorts of formulas, okay? Sum, count if, date, time, tables and borders, graphs and charts, all those things. And then conditional formatting is there. Next, we have VLOOKUP function, pivot tables, pivot graph, charts for visually appealing or whatever the workspace, okay? For the organization, they can use this Google Sheets and they can speed up the process up to 40 to 50%. Okay. So this is how we can use the Google Sheets for our organizational or for our personal purpose.